All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yes.
It's
Looking forward to this one.
it's Monday, February 24th, 2025.
Big day.
Big day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
looks like a bit of a wild ride in the markets.
Definitely.
So we're diving into global market update 250225
Okay.
from my pensions advisors to try to break down some of this volatility
All right.
and what it all means for investors like you listening at home.
Yeah, absolutely. It's whenever we see big swings in the market,
Yeah.
it's time to maybe take a look at your portfolio and see how things are going.
Right. Take stock, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
So first off, let's jump across the pond
Okay.
to the U.S., where it looks like President Trump has decided to impose some tariffs
Right.
on Canada and Mexico.
Yeah, big news.
What do you think about this?
Well, I mean, these are some major U.S. trading partners, right?
you.
So tariffs on this scale could really disrupt those, those delicate supply chains.
Right.
And when those get disrupted, we start seeing increased costs for businesses.
And then, of course, businesses pass those costs on down to
Exactly, down to the consumer.
the consumer.
Yeah. And, it could be anything.
Right. Could be our electronics, our cars.
Cars, groceries, anything you can think of.
And speaking of things that hit our wallets,
Yes.
tech stocks are down today,
Interesting.
particularly in the AI sector.
Yeah, that's a sector a lot of people are watching very closely.
I know I am.
Yeah.
I've been following Nvidia pretty closely, and I have to admit, I'm a little nervous about their upcoming earnings report.
Yeah, they're really a bellwether for the entire industry, aren't they?
They are.
So everyone's kind of holding their breath to see how they perform.
What's your take on the whole AI situation? Do you think that bubble is getting ready to burst?
Well, it's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's been such explosive growth in AI over the last, couple years. So it's natural that there might be some, market correction.
Yeah.
But, is it just a correction or is it something more fundamental?
Right.
I think that's what investors are trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And, one thing to keep in mind is that funding for AI startups has actually decreased
Oh, wow.
this quarter by about 15%.
Really?
So that could be, a sign that sentiment is starting to shift a little bit.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So to our listeners out there, do you see AI as a sustainable investment long term?
Something to ponder.
Yeah. So I got to think about.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, across the pond again,
Back across the pond.
over in the UK,
Okay.
stocks are also down today
Interesting.
as everyone awaits the Bank of England announcement on interest rates.
Big one.
So
Yeah.
what's the connection there?
Well, interest rates are a huge deal.
Yeah.
They affect borrowing costs for, everyone,
Right.
individuals and businesses.
For sure.
And when those borrowing costs change, that can ripple through the entire economy.
Yeah.
And it influences investment decisions,
Right.
spending habits, all kinds of things.
And here's where it all kind of comes together,
Yeah.
right? We can't think about the UK in isolation.
Definitely not.
How do you think these U.S. protectionist measures
Right.
and the AI jitters we were just talking about,
Yeah.
how might they play into what the Bank of England decides to do?
Well, I mean, it's all connected, right?
Yeah.
We live in a global economy.
A globalized world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a decision made in Washington
Yeah.
can absolutely have repercussions in London
Right.
and vice versa.
Absolutely.
So the Bank of England is definitely going to be considering all of these factors.
For sure.
The tariffs,
Yeah.
the uncertainty in the tech sector
Right.
when they make their decision about interest rates.
And this could have a real impact
Oh, absolutely.
on, our listeners' personal finances.
Yeah.
If interest rates go up, that means higher mortgage payments.
Right.
Potentially.
Could be good for savings, though.
Maybe that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better returns on your savings.
So, swings and roundabouts, as they say.
Yeah. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. It's a complex landscape out there,
It is.
and staying informed is key.
So what's our main takeaway for our listeners today?
I think the main takeaway is that global events
Yeah.
can have a real impact on your investments.
Right.
So in times of uncertainty like these,
Yeah.
diversification is crucial.
Right.
And staying informed is absolutely paramount.
And where can our listeners go to stay informed?
Well, there are a lot of great resources out there,
For sure.
but I always recommend my pensions advisors.
Yeah.
They can provide personalized guidance
Yeah.
based on your specific financial goals.
I don't know.
And you can reach them at info@mypensionadvisor.co.uk.
Great. So before we sign off,
Okay.
just a little something to ponder.
Right.
We've talked a lot about how interconnected the global economy is.
We have.
What do you think are the potential benefits?
Right.
And risks of that trend?
That's a big question.
It is. It's a big question.
A lot to unpack there.
A lot to unpack. So